First up, a story how a groundbreaking advance in medical science could change a Taupo woman's life.
Sophie Bell is waiting for a new face. The removal of a tumour left her needing major reconstruction and feeling she had to hide herself away.
Now, a British specialist is offering Sophie a new life by applying engineering principles to surgery.
Being the forefront, yes, a little bit nervous. I'm a guinea pig, and someone's got to be, and I'm ready. I'm sort of sick of being like this, so any improvements will be good.
38-year-old Sophie Bell is waiting for groundbreaking surgery that aims to rebuild her face, ravaged by a rare tumour. Sophie leads a busy life. She works full-time for the Taupo Council as planning manager, overseeing the development of new parks, a job she balances with mothering her 2 young children. She tells herself she's lucky, but she wants her looks restored.
Oh, my new hope is that I'll look magnificent, that the reconstruction that will be done will make me look like me, that I'll get my eyesight back, so that I won't have this double vision, that I'll have teeth again and be able to open my mouth. I know I'll have scarring, etc., but I can live with scars.
3 years ago, Sophie faced tremendous stress. She had just given birth to her second child when her father died.
Look at that. What's your picture of?
Soon after, Sophie became plagued by what seemed like a simple yet recurring blocked nose and sinus. After visits to a series of specialists, it was discovered that Sophie had a tumour on the left side of her face.
I think it had started growing on my cheekbone, and then the fleshy part came up around here and started impacting on my sinuses, which is why I couldn't breathe and started going over.
Her husband Scott was left in charge of the children, while Sophie was sent away from the family to Auckland for extensive surgery.
The major operation was basically removing the palate, removing my whole cheekbone, removing the bone that goes up here, and removing the floor of my orbit. They took a centimetre, I think it was about a centimetre ahead of the tumour, just to make sure that I had a clear rim around it, and they sent all that away to make sure that I didn't have to go back for radiation, basically. And Massa did a big jump around the house for joy when I found out I didn't have to do radiation treatment, because they were quite confident that they'd got it all out.
Hey, you put it on these 2 pieces.
Yep, we can put some pieces on there.
The good news, the tumour wasn't cancerous, but the outcome wasn't as positive as it first seemed.
When they first did the operation, I think my face looked magnificent, but with gravity and the swelling and everything else, it's kind of pulled it all down. It's impacted on the bone and kind of put it out of position, so you can kind of see it sitting a bit lower than it possibly should be. Oh, I think they might have gone.
Sophie's young children were initially shocked at how much the surgery had changed their mum's looks.
Got home here after 10 days and was sitting on the couch, and the kids came running and "Mummy, Mummy," and ran straight back out again. They were scared.
Sophie's face is now seriously disfigured. Her eyes are malaligned, affecting her vision.
Double vision, so I normally look at people like this if I've got a little bit of a funny kink, because I've got this little window down here where I can see normally, so I do tend to walk around doing a lot of that.
Sophie can't open her mouth properly, and her face is gradually slipping.
With the scar tissues dragged down, I can't close my eye properly, so it does get a bit irritated, and I can't go swimming and in the shower. It's a bit of a pain. And the other pain is my mouth doesn't open properly.
The one thing I miss is her smile. That's the single one thing that I want to get back if I can, because it was incredible.
Oliver, what will happen if you don't brush your teeth?
Sophie's self-esteem has taken a beating. She's conscious of her looks wherever she goes, but especially in her work environment.
Yeah, I got a knock, and as I say, it's in those situations, like for example, I had a conference at the end of last year, and I found that really tough. I wanted to hide, because there was a lot of people there who I used to work with in Wellington and Auckland, and some of them knew but hadn't seen me, so I found that really hard. But at the end of the day, though, I was just really keen to catch up with them, so you just work through that.
Now, Sophie's been offered hope. She's been referred to Dr. Ninian Pickett, a UK specialist in facial reconstruction. He's part of a research team at Mass University in Palmerston North. Sophie's reconstruction will combine engineering and surgical principles. The outcome should be a more precise cosmetic result.
I mean, just being able to see again, or just, not having to do this all the time. And, one of the biggest things, it's really little, but when I'm lying in the bed with the children giving them a cuddle, I can't see them properly. I know it's really little, but it's just a real bugbear that there's certain things I have to do to be able to see the children, or read them a book or things like that. What's the cat doing, Ollie? Look.
Duck.
And eating, of course. Eating a piece of steak, eating a sandwich which I can get my mouth around, all that kind of stuff.
Mum, you didn't say me.
Oh, you're doing this picture. So in terms of the reconstruction, what they're going to do is cut through my scar through down here, peel my face back, take everything out that's in there at present, including the bone that's from my leg. You can see the implant on the computer screen here, which I've got a replica here of what's actually going to go in. This will be made of titanium, and it'll have a veneer put over it of a substance called BMP. I don't know the full name of it. And basically what that will do is that can become vascularised, which means it can have a blood supply to it, which is really important for the skin sitting next to it. Skin doesn't like sitting next to titanium. And then they'll slot that in and attach it, put the orbital floor in, close it back up and sew me up. They haven't decided yet whether they'll put the teeth in at the same time because they're going to determine whether I'll need to heal first.
Now it's just a question of when surgery will take place. It's the wait that's really getting to Sophie.
It's kind of knowing that I could be better, and it's that waiting to get better, and it's been over a year now.
She wants it now. I mean, the insurance has been ticked off. We've got the all go ahead. I mean, Ninian's happy with that he's got everything covered. We just want to get it done.
We're just basically waiting for the implant to be built, and that's kind of what the hold-up is. I think I need help, Dada!
In the meantime, Sophie's got plenty to distract her, and she remains aware of just how precious life is.
I don't look right, and I know I look scary to certain people, but at the end of the day, it's life, and there's a lot of other stuff to get on with. And there's so many happy moments, and to be affected by this and not enjoy those happy moments, I'd be very sad about. So, no, it's all just about keeping on grabbing life.
We'll follow Sophie through that surgery.